I come before you this evening with a very disturbing video, and I hope that you all listen to this to the very end. I want to bring to your attention something that was brought to my attention just recently. It is alleged that between the dates of May 1st through May 9th, the sitting Deputy Prime Minister, Justice Cooper, went directly to the magistrate court, directly into the chambers of the Chief Magistrate, Roberto Reckley, to make a complaint against me. And that complaint is intentional libel and defamation of character. Okay, fine. What's the problem? That's a major conflict of interest in itself. Why? Because the Chief Magistrate used to work for Wayne Munro and Associates. Wayne Munro and Associates is the attorney on record for British American Financial. British American Financial's major shareholder is Chester Cooper. These guys know each other very well. So, if these allegations are true, in terms of him going directly to the Chief Magistrate to make a complaint against me, and to have that very same Chief Magistrate to have the case in his court that he's going to preside over, that's a major conflict of interest in itself. Let's take it a bit further. You cannot use, and you being Chief Magistrate, the privilege or the prestige of your judicial office. You can allow persons to use it for political and personal gain. That's wrong. Because if you do that, which is being alleged that you've done, you are now guilty of both judicial and legal ethics. Now, there's an interesting contrast between both judicial and legal ethics. Allow me to explain briefly to you. So with legal ethics, one is constantly looking at what he or she can do relative to the norms and the rules that relates to confidentiality, conflict of interest to the court, and also the obligation to the court system. As it relates to judicial ethics, on the other hand, it is actually the opposite. Judicial ethics clearly focuses on what a judge can do outside his or her judicial role. Because once a judge crosses that Rubicon from being an advocate and I'd say also being a neutral, now once you cross the Rubicon, now that's a problem. That's a problem. Now, the expectation is now that that judge is going to adjust his or her activities to minimize the impact, to avoid the appearance of impropriety and or the appearance of partiality. Now, under no circumstances, the judge cannot lend, like I said, the prestige of his office for private and personal gain. Now, the main goal of judicial ethics is that we want the judge not only to be unbiased and follow the rule of law, but it is vitally important that the judge avoids the appearance of impropriety. This is the essential feature of judicial ethics. And if these allegations are accurate, as has been alleged that the Chief Magistrate loaned the prestige of his office to the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, to levy a complaint against me, then he's in violation of both judicial and legal ethics. Forget conflict of interest. That's a no-brainer as well. What is the situation? What is the problem? What is the next step? Well, the next step for me would be, obviously there's no independence in our legislative body, and there's no independence in our judiciary. Well, in this regard, it doesn't seem as if there's none. Because if these allegations are accurate, then it tells me that there's too much political influence in the judiciary. There's too much political influence in on the police force. And now there's too much political influence in the media. Hence the reason why I had to seek outside assistance. I contacted my persons at Amnesty International. I called the U.S. Embassy to speak to the political officer, Erica Lewis, because these things need to be made known. If these allegations are proven to be right, then this is the most tyrannical form of governance I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, the commissioner at the prison used to be a client of Wayne Munro as well, Don Clare. Now, what is the plan here? For me to go to prison, to be murdered, and make it seem as if there was a fight with another inmate, and then at the end of me, they want to silence me. You know, all this came about because of one thing. It all became a problem with the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, when I publicly endorsed Jobeth Kobe Davis in stating that she one day will become the first female Prime Minister in this country and will make history, because she's the only politician that reminds me of Celine and Binley. Ever since I made that statement, I became a target. Now, they made a mistake. If these allegations are accurate, then I'm going to be putting forth a motion to set aside these proceedings to, well, I'm hoping the court would entertain that request, that is. And I want to also set the proceedings aside to allow me to file a constitutional motion to the Supreme Court, because I want to have this case dismissed. And I'm going to be asking also for the removal of Chief Justice Roberto Reckley, and also putting a complaint into the Bar Association, to the Ethics Committee, for them to consider having him disbarred. I will see you all in court on Friday.